Welcome to Everything Life Coaching. I'm John Kim.
And I'm Noelle Cordeaux. We are the founders of JRNI Coaching.
We're super passionate about all things coaching and want to share what we've learned from over a decade of coaching and training over 1,000 life coaches.
Dive deep into a more meaningful career, find freedom, and make an impact on the world around you.
You want to know what makes a good coach? Noelle and I are going to tell you in this episode. Noelle, good morning.
Good morning.
Was that a little too much pressure on us?
Well,
I don't even know.
All right. So we're talking about what makes a good coach. And I've been using "and" a lot. It's a really good segue. What is good and what is bad is incredibly subjective.
Yeah.
And when we apply labels like that to ourselves and others, it creates otherness. And, inherently in coaching and within our organization, we believe that every single person is capable of learning and changing and growing. So there is no good and bad. It's just one big continuum.
Yeah, and maybe it's what makes it an effective coach. I don't like the word good and bad. It's subjective. It's like saying what makes a good song,
Right. I mean, Fish makes a good song. Let's be real.
Right. Which I totally disagree with.
Exactly. So here we go. But one of the things that we can agree on is that coaching is a scientific discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching is a field that is governed by globally recognized standards. And if we're measuring ourselves on a continuum of the standards of our fields, we know what we have to rise to as coaches.
Right.
And so what we can do is take the ICF, the International Coaching Federation's core standards, and say, okay, this is what we can all aspire to as quote unquote good coaches. Yes. I prefer masterful coaches, but we'll roll with it.
Okay. And so the first piece is having an ethical practice.
Yeah. Ethics is part of the very foundation of coaching. And this is a piece that takes place in coach training. This is why coach training is important, because there's all sorts of stuff that goes into an ethical practice that if you are not trained, you would have no idea, like laws around confidentiality, the way that contracts are set up, integrity and honesty in interactions with clients, using language appropriately and respectfully, confidentiality, stakeholder agreements. These are all of the things that go into coaching mastery. If you want to rise to excellence at the top of your field, this is the piece you need to collect.
Yeah. Also referring people out if you don't believe that you can help them, or if what they need is therapy.
Yes, absolutely. That all goes into an ethical practice. And as you go through coach training, one of the things that you learn is really how to let go of ego at every step of the way. And for me, when we release ego and we turn our dial to providing space to be a conduit for someone else's growth, it's really easy to attach to ethical practice.
Here's another one that makes a quote unquote good coach. And this is someone who embodies a coaching mindset.
So embodying a coaching mindset is really exciting to me. It's one of the new competencies that the ICF put out in 2020. And I was stoked to see that this is a global standard because it has a lot to do with intersectionality. It has a lot to do with being aware that you might not understand somebody else's culture, the context of their life, what they're going through. And again, checking your ego, your own assumption of rightness at the door, and really hanging with your client in a way where you're embodying self-regulation.
Develops and maintains a mindset that is open, curious, flexible, and client-centered. This is such a powerful sentence, kids. I work with a lot of people in relationships, and this is also the mindset for relationships, for love.
You are so right. I've been working with a couple clients through dating for the first time after divorce.
Hmm.
And this is the way we have to assume that every other human out there has this whole world inside them that we know nothing about. And getting curious about that world is the way in, not only from an ethical perspective, but from a respectful perspective.
Yeah. And what this looks like is you're acknowledging that clients are responsible for their own choices. You're engaging in ongoing learning and development as a coach. So that means that you're always feeding your brain and learning how to be better. You don't think that just because you graduated from a, say, coaching school that you are done. What else? Develops an ongoing reflective practice to enhance one's coaching.
Yep. And I'd say, just like any relationship, making sure that you are taking care of yourself so that you
Mm,
can show up,
yeah.
whether that's a session or, a moment or a podcast, your presence matters.
Live the way that you are helping other people live, or at least try to, with that intention.
Yes. 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 And then this leads into another really important point about coaching mastery, coaching excellence. And I think it's something that is often overlooked because a lot of people just see the marketing part of coaching.
Right.
Let me show myself, let me show you what I can do, let me show you, all the things. And it's the fact that coaching itself is a relationship with another human.
Mm. So explain that.
Yeah. So co creating a relationship with your client, whether your
Right.
client is a person, a couple, a group of people, an organization, or a community, you are co creating a relationship with other living entities. And there is a lot of work that goes into that. There's a lot of humility that goes into that. And there's a lot of accountability that goes into that. So, when we're looking at this, the first one is around establishing and maintaining your agreements. And that basically means that you do what you say you're going to do.
Hmm. Right. The contract, right? The agreement. Yeah. The promise.
The contract, the agreement, sending articles, sending introductions, providing feedback, showing up on time,
Hmm.
honoring, the pace of your client's learning. All of this goes into the agreement. And even when you're in session, sometimes coaches will go into a session with an agenda for their client. And I cannot state enough that that's backwards. The client needs to set the agenda, even if it's completely unexpected. We go where the client needs to go. It's not our life.
Yes. The next one is cultivating trust and safety, and this is foundational. This is the soil.
It is. And so, how do we do this? John, in your life, what have been the ingredients of the relationships that have given you the most trust and safety?
Relatability, a safe space, feeling heard, um, someone who shows herself but is also human. That makes me
Yeah.
trust them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that it was a her.
Mhm.
Um, so, yeah. So, this is what we do for our clients. And as a coach, this is something that doesn't come naturally necessarily. We get good at it over time.
Mhm.
And a big part of this, because humans are so diverse and we come from such different backgrounds, and you might meet someone on the street and they may have different cues or clues as to how they are, but we never really know or really understand someone within the context of their life until we take the time to listen and ask questions from a
Mhm.
non-judgmental perspective.
What about maintaining presence?
Well, this is our job, right?
Yeah.
So, when you're in session with the client, Your job is to be there in session with the client. So this is just like, this is coaching 101. This means that you're not scrolling through your phone. You're not typing on your computer. You're not looking out the window. You're not driving. You're not doing anything else but being with that client. And I have to say that I think folks think that this is easy. It's actually really hard. And there's a lot that can get in the way. John, what's gotten in the way for you before you were able to really build this muscle?
Well, I'm just, I'm a spaz. My brain is always juggling and spinning plates. So just maintaining presence is actually really hard for me. And if you're listening to this and you think that because of Zoom and the way that we coach now via, cameras, that you can glance at your phone or text someone, then the other person is not going to know. That's not true. But also, even if they don't know, how are you going to feel about yourself as a coach if you're, not being present in that way?
Yeah. So something that happened to me often, and I remember it really profoundly because I got divorced right when I was starting my coaching career. And so, my life was objectively a complete dumpster fire. And I had a lot of really big feelings. I had a lot of really big emotions. I had things that were really valid that were causing me to cry, uncontrollably at a moment's notice. And I remember sitting there in some of those early sessions and shit from my own life that had nothing to do with the client or the topic at hand would show up and start tap dancing around. And I had to learn how to build that muscle to block it out. It's almost like in the moment, giving yourself permission to get to it later.
Yeah. And the last two, active listening and evoking awareness in ourselves and others.
Yeah. And so this comes down to the broad category of communicating. And, coaching is a communication methodology. That's what we're doing as coaches. We are listening, we are asking questions, we are helping others drive awareness for themselves, for others, and, taking the time to really listen, really tune in, show it with your body language, show it with your eyes, show it with your words. That is a powerful way to show up.
Yeah. So these are all the ways that we believe these are things that make a quote unquote good coach. And Noelle and I don't like the word good. There's also the X factor, that special something, you call it the secret sauce. There's that X factor, and we all have it because we're all unique, that we bring to the table that makes that coach unique and different and exceptional in that way.
Absolutely. And your special sauce will overlay all of these beautiful standards and come together in this great and unique product that only you can deliver. So, as we go along the way, celebrate each milestone that you gain, celebrate your success, celebrate when you're able to put your own thoughts aside and really focus. That's a big deal. That's coaching mastery. You're doing your job, and we're proud of you.
Yeah. And if you want to go deeper with this topic or any topic under the umbrella of coaching, check out JRNI Coaching. This is all the stuff that, we talk about and process and help you accomplish.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Be well. Thanks for listening to Everything Life Coaching. If you're feeling the draw to become a coach, head to jrni.co/everything to explore a new career that brings fulfillment, gives you a true sense of purpose, and a strong community to do it in. We created JRNI Coaching to equip you with the tools, training, and community you need to attain your goals.
Join JRNI Coaching and begin your journey towards personal freedom and a transformative state of growth today. That's jrni.co/everything.